So there's that.
Talking about worst anime today. That's our worst opening today. Welcome, everybody, to episode 107 of the All You Can Hear podcast. I am one of your 6 co-hosts, Tanner, and with me, as per usual...
Hey, can I ask a question real quick? You got some little Debbies in there. Fudge rounds. Can I grab one?
Yes.
All right, thanks.
My name Colt. That was the worst intro we've ever had. Ever. I hated that.
See, like, you at home can either A, fast forward that intro, or B, wow, I thought you were going to open it off mic at least.
It is off mic.
Oh.
I can't hear that.
I hear
it.
it.
Was just
It's
very
loud
loud
as
for
shit.
me.
That's because you have ears.
But anyways,
Yeah,
like you
I
were
do.
like, oh, the swallowing sound. I bet they couldn't hear that in Yeah, we could. It was all audible.
It's Garzey's Jonathan.
It's called, fudge round.
It's Wenzel.
It's Big Pat.
That's ominous. I don't like that.
Okay, like I said before we started recording, there was a cursed, horny energy about this podcast already, and I'm not a fan of. So, anyways, today we are talking about to continue anime. Very clever title again. We, through our own knowledge and using a few websites such as Ranker, My Anime List, yeah, Google if you want to be a smart ass Colt. Mm-hmm. But we have compiled a list of what the internet would lead you to believe to be the 5 worst anime of all time, or at least 5 of some of the worst.
5
anime.
of the worst anime.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, these lists are pretty right.
Yeah. So today we are going to go through. We watched the first episode of all these anime, and we're going to go through and just talk about them for a little bit, starting with Mars of Destruction.
Okay. This starts out as like almost like a cereal commercial animation. I don't really know. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah,
it
exactly.
looks like clip art.
yeah, it looks like clip art. And who put this on the list?
Me. I put it on the list.
So we're sitting there watching it, and it seems like, oh god, this is just gonna be a piece of shit anime.
Well, I mean, that's the
You
point.
see, like, it's in space. Like a space shuttle is re-entering Earth's atmosphere. It's like it's on fire. It's kind of puttering in place, and all of a sudden, fucking strobe lights just blaring.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In the first 30 seconds of the show. And it's not like black and white strobe lights. It's blue and green for
Yeah,
some
full
reason.
fucking color.
Like, I was like, holy shit. Like, shielding my eyes.
It came rapidly too. Out
Yeah,
of
there was
nowhere.
no warning. It's just like, we're in the space shuttle. And it was just like, what the hell
And
is
the thing
this?
is, though, the space shuttle never moved. Like, it was like,
No.
we're re-entering atmosphere, we're burning up, but it's like, it never moved.
It never moved. It was just...
It was like somebody held up a panel and was like,
Yeah.
shaking it.
was shaking it. The animation in the show. Within the first 3 minutes, they're fighting an alien monster who I don't even know if they gave it a name. Maybe they did.
Because after that, it cuts to Earth like these 3 girls in suggested outfits, like with machine guns, fighting these gonky looking aliens.
The Ancients.
the
Oh,
Ancients.
the Ancients. That was it.
And they're like firing, but they're like making anime girls. Like, I can't hold a gun, but I'm trying to be, I guess, a soldier.
I'm a secret
badass.
I'm a secret warrior, so a soldier, but I don't know how to hold a gun.
And then one girl gets her head completely blown off.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was out of nowhere. We
It
didn't
was like
expect it.
Tanner was literally. We were in the middle of a bit, just kind of trying to make this palatable because it was so shit. And her head just gets like blood squirting out, comical, just explosion.
Well, the thing is, there was no animation to it, too. So, like, head exploded, and it looked like essentially a triangle of blood coming from her head with no movement or anything. It's just like, my head's gone, and now I have a blood head.
Yeah.
I just happened to get up during that time, and all I hear is, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, we all screamed. It was such a, wow, what a moment.
They also had no original music for the show.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it was all like royalty-free sections of like
Classical.
famous pieces of classical music. It's like, and then we're playing this section of Moonlight Sonata, and then Ave Maria. It was bad.
Yeah, and
it
like,
was really bad.
And they didn't even fit like the moments in the show. Like like sometimes you'll see like Flight of the Conchords or some shit be used in a show, and it like kind of makes sense. Doesn't make sense here.
No.
Like them using any of this music. It's just so thrown out of place.
Because it's like there's like a moment where it's like shit's happening and then like it's very subtle and it's just like this fucking does not fit. Like what are you like? What is it? And then there's a fucking moment where what we can assume is one of the characters who's utilizing probably the same technology as the ancients or whatever is in a suit. He attacks them, gets hit in the back, makes that sound, and is fatally wounded.
Yeah.
Like one of the aliens jump. Like there's a guy. He has like this alien suit on, and he goes to fight the aliens. And one jumps on his back, just like sticks his fingernails into his back, and like he's rushed to the emergency room. Like he's all hooked up to machine, and everybody's just like, oh no, he's dying.
Is he gonna make it?
Yeah.
Well, that and then the that main character in the ancient suit or whatever. I think they wanted it to have a cool filter on his voice, but it really just sounded like this the entire time.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
sounded like they got the voice actor to be like, okay, do that line again, but say it in a cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about this. This is bullshit.
It was just bad.
And they had the guy get crucified become a gimp god.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy with the alien suit get in his alien suit, he has to crucify himself. Not actually crucify himself, but the way the shape.
The machine is a cross.
Yeah, it's a
They're
cross.
real deep with this.
Yeah.
And he goes into it, and then like he gets strapped up like a gimp suit, and it's like really, really fucking tight. Like, it's,
And he looks like he's in pain the whole time.
Smushing his rib cage together.
yeah, it squishes him. It squishes his stomach, and it's just fuck painful.
And like the whole thing, they're trying to make him seem like he's the bad guy, badass. He can only save his. Every time he goes to fight, he gets his ass.
Oh
handed to
yeah,
him.
Yeah, he sucks.
He literally gets his arm fucking broken.
Yeah, and then they reused the same animation for his like, little laser sword lighting up.
yeah,
All they did was change the background.
Yeah.
that's it.
And literally, the only reason he beats like the big ancient in the episode is because like somebody's like, use this gun, and it's a fucking sniper rifle cannon rocket launcher.
10 feet away, by the way.
10 feet away, shoots it, looks like he misses. Like there's no animation signifying it hit, and then all of a sudden, just dude falls over and dies.
Yeah, giant hole in his midsection.
Yeah, it's just like nothing happens, and then just like circle, and it's just like, that's the show, I guess.
And then he falls over, and then he gets right back up. And isn't the guy in the gimp suit already out of the gimp suit?
No, he doesn't have the helmet on anymore.
Oh no, he's out of his gimp suit because some time passes because all the fires and stuff are put out, and it's like after like everybody gets there to investigate, like the police, everything's calmed down.
It's like 10 minutes later, but they needed a time skip for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets up and he's like, we're the true Earthlings.
Yeah, it's like the Martians were here first, and then they're like, oh no, and then they just obliterate him, and then he explodes. It's.
It was so fucking bad.
It wasn't even like there were some parts that were like funny bad.
Yeah.
Such as like when literally the head explosion was just came out of nowhere because it was like showing the girls like getting the upper hand, and then all of a sudden just head explosion like came out of nowhere, and I don't know, like that was like the one redeeming quality, and like the actual like sound mixing of the show was bad because sometimes it would sound like the voice actors were recording from here, but then it sounded like it was from here, and very
Tanner
serious.
had to back up to talk.
Yeah, I had to back up to talk, but it was I don't know, it was a train wreck. It was awful.
Can't wait to watch the rest of the season.
Yep.
Never.
Like
Was this the one that just had the one episode made?
I don't know,
don't
and I
really
don't
know.
care enough to look into it.
no, I think this was a couple maybe, but I don't know. There was actually another show we tried to find that
But it was just PSP cutscenes.
that we literally couldn't find called Generation of Chaos that we wanted to watch. But so then we went right into Mars of Destruction, and oh my god, it was so bad. Like I remember watching it. I'm like, oh my god, what if that's the best one out of this batch? But luckily there's some funny stuff to come later. But yeah, so that's Mars of Destruction. Don't watch it, or if you want to watch an awful anime,
Go ahead.
watch it. So yeah.
And the thing is about Mars of Destruction and the one that's coming up, they were on almost all of the worst anime lists that we could find.
No, literally, that's why I added Mars of Destruction, because literally I could not find a worst anime list that didn't have it on it. Like, it was like top 10, top 12, top 15 worst anime, and Mars of Destruction was like a consistent top 5er. So I'm like, it's got to go on the list. So yeah, and it did. Talking about ones that were very consistent on worst anime list, up next is a show called Pupa.
Oh, fuck me.
P-U-P-A.
Motherfucker.
I'm going to try to describe what I think would be the synopsis of the show, which is in very simple terms. So there's the main girl. She is a demon of some sort that craves human flesh.
Oh,
Yeah,
I remember
it's-
this one
yeah.
now. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
that craves human flesh, and like it jumps around a lot. And like the show is not coherent at all.
It's
really
like someone saw a David Lynch movie but didn't understand it, but was like, "I'm gonna make that."
It's like you said, someone tried like non-linear storytelling, but had no ability at it. You just feel like it's jumping around, so you don't really know, like if these are even the same characters present. And how it even relates to the main plot.
Like
quote.
we were watching it and we were like, "Is this a flashback? Is this like a time skip? Is this present day?" Like we literally did not know,
No,
and there was nothing to signify it was anything. And also because we found it was on YouTube, the version we watched just like with like 6 or 7 minutes left, just stopped using subtitles.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So
I
literally,
mean, we didn't know what was going on half the time anyway.
But
Yeah.
did we? Yeah, we didn't.
yeah, we didn't know what was going on, but losing the subtitles, it was just like, well, okay, here we go.
I mean, we didn't need it anymore.
yeah, we didn't need it. At
We
that
still
point.
watched the whole thing.
Yeah, we watched the whole thing.
And we tried to stop it, but we didn't.
But anyways, so she's a demon. She eats humans, and again, I never got the vibe from the show if her brother knew or didn't know. But by the end of the episode, he definitely knows, and she accidentally makes him a demon or something of the sort.
he gets like this virus where he can regenerate.
Yeah, he can regenerate.
So she just starts like they have this like weird fucked up relationship where she like feeds on him, but he keeps regenerating.
yeah,
And this is where fucking Tanner brings up. He's like, maybe this was the anime that somebody told me got weird incest vibes from.
Yeah,
Yes,
no.
it is that anime.
It is because the scene. There's 2 scenes in particular of the sister eating the brother, and it's like way too sexualized.
It's like the first scene is they're in a bathroom and it's like she's eating his stomach, but like from the angle of what the camera's at, it looks something
Sloppy toppy.
fucking. Thank you.
Everybody knows that as a ST.
And
There's not another acronym you could use for it. ST.
and that like and there's sucking sounds. Oh fuck.
Yeah,
No.
there were sucking sounds.
There's sucking and like slurping sounds.
And she was eating his stomach.
Yeah.
And then the
Weird
second
place to go.
and the
at,
second
but-
scene, which fuck, why?
The second scene, literally on a hospital bed.
Literally on a hospital bed, she takes off his shirt, licks his chest, and then turns him around and starts eating his back. Fuck. Shit.
It was
your ass.
very deliberately intended to look like they were fucking.
Yeah, except there's blood everywhere.
Because like it's this weird thing, like I said, it seems like the brother is trying to protect his sisters from being taken away because they have a flashback. Like we realized the flashback because we see her as a baby. She like ate a bird, and she's like somehow like knowingly psychotic as a baby because her mom got. There's like, oh, her mom tried to kill her, and it's like, oh, well, she regenerated, so they put her mom in a loony bin or something. But then like the brother's like, oh, I can't have them take my sister away, so he like goes in secret and has her like eat part of his body so she can contain her cravings, and not be found out. But at the same time, it's like she doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
Like she has amnesia after she eats her brother or something.
Now that I'm remembering everything that's happened, this doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, it's
It didn't
No.
make sense.
Well,
At any
because
point.
because at first when we watched it, I was like, okay, I guess this is somewhat coherent. But now that I'm trying to piece everything together, it doesn't. I don't fucking know what happened.
And I gave up like at the halfway point.
and,
trying to
like,
understand.
the whole like just it being incoherent, it having incest vibes, that's bad on its own. But it definitely sends the vibe that the creators of the show is trying to turn this into like an allegory of abuse and a cycle of violence.
Oh, yeah.
and it was so hackneyed and so fucking insensitive. I'm just sitting here like, who thought this was a good
Because
idea?
we were talking about it made it seem like the monster demon that's inside the girl is sort of like representative like of her guilt of being in an abusive childhood. And plus, it also have like these
and one thing we didn't mention is their dad beat him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which was represented in the show by teddy bears.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah.
Because-
Oh my
Teddy
god,
bears
this,
be
this
edgy.
whole show was a train wreck.
Yeah.
Like Mars of Destruction was just bad because it was bad. Pupa was bad for so many other
yeah.
I
reasons.
do think it's Pupa, but
I don't care. It's
Pupa.
more like poop.
Who fucking cares? It sucks.
Also, sometimes the blood was brown.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
looked
so
like
it
shit,
look-
diarrhea all over.
So like, what the fuck was up with that?
Oh, yeah.
Also, there's a long, lanky goth girl with a cat that somehow was in on the whole thing. Like she was like, "I've been watching. I know the story."
Yeah, she's aware because we're so confused because there's a moment in the show where some little fucking dog that's infected attacks the girl, and you're thinking, oh, okay, she gets the virus from that, so that makes her turn into a demon. But then later, it goes back and shows her as a fucking baby who can't die, and it's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, like the show leads you to believe that the dog gave her the virus, and then they're like, but she was born with the virus. And it's like, what's the dog here for?
and then she turns into that huge fucking monster, kills a ton of people in the park, apparently. Never saw that, but it happened.
Yeah.
And then
You heard noises.
Yeah, and then she kills and eats her brother, and then the goth lady, takes all the bodies and transports them. But then later, it's like the brother wakes up, and it's like found out that he has the same thing. He just regenerates, and it's just like this whole fucking shit, man.
Yeah. And again, it acts at one point as if the brother didn't know. It's like, my sister's a demon. What? Where it shows what we assume to be a flashback of her eating him and he regenerating, and it's shown in the show as a flashback.
Yeah, and then there are moments where like we see her eating him again. It's like we don't know if that's happening now or in the past. None of this, and I fucking hate it too. How like any moment like the show was like cutting into the next phase of the show or an episode, it had like a title card that would like disintegrate or whatever, and it said what this next part is. And I hated that.
Yeah, I hated that, and also
it would be like tiger butt.
Yeah. One of them was literally
What
like
the fuck?
tiger something, like tiger beetle or something, and it just like faded away, and then you would watch that part and like, what the hell
And
did that mean?
And you're thinking, oh, that's probably the title. Then there's another card.
Yep.
And then there's another card.
And then I guess whoever was subtitling this and put it on YouTube just stopped, or I assume the person that put it on YouTube didn't subtitle it. Whoever subtitled it just stopped, because there's one that we don't even get like the English translation for. They're just like, fuck this.
I wonder if the person who did subtitle was like, what the fuck? I give
What
up.
am I doing?
Yeah, they just gave up.
They could not pay me enough. Holy crap, is this bad? I can't even recommend watching it just from like, oh, you want haha funny. It's funny to watch it. It's so bad. Don't watch this. Holy shit, is it bad?
I don't like looking at it.
Literally no redeeming quality. Yeah, not to mention, like, if all of the other stuff didn't set you off, bad sound editing,
Incest.
the animation was ugly as hell. We already mentioned like that stuff. The animation was ugly as hell. It was super dark.
I didn't like looking at her in her demon form.
Yeah, the demon form was like
It was really uncomfortable.
it was uncomfortable. It was like
with her voice too.
Yeah.
Big ass eyes.
It's
yeah.
something you'd see in hell.
and the creators just sitting back thinking, I made this so you would feel uncomfortable, and you did. I
is
won.
my masterpiece.
You just don't.
Mwah.
You just don't get it.
Mars of Destruction was a fun watch. This
is not.
This was not.
This was
we
painful
found
in
out,
every
'cause
sense of
there's
the
like
word.
the good bad and then there's bad. This was a bad.
Which, speaking of incest, the next anime.
What?
It has no
It
incest
has
in
no
it.
incest in it.
No. What's the next one?
Handshakers.
Oh, my bad. The one after that. Sorry.
I still don't know what the hell you're talking about. for the one after.
I'll explain it because I got.
Explain your incest ways.
Well, okay, calm down. Okay.
I got weird vibes.
So there are weird vibes in all of these shows. Handshakers, from again what I could gather, was a show where it's like, hey, what up? Just a normal person, but I also have a girl that is similar to a stand in JoJo, I guess, where there can be like powers. And they have powers, but the only way you can activate them, you have to hold your stand, quote unquote. Again, they never give them the name of the show. So you have to give your handshaker, you have to hold their hand. And for them to unleash their power, I think you have to let go of their hand.
No. For them to unleash their power, you have to keep holding on because the main character didn't feel powerful until he grabbed her hand.
Maybe that
But
was
the
it.
other character
But the other
only had his
character-
powers activated because he was stepping on her coochie.
Yep.
There you go. We're trying to build up to that, Colt. Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, and literally nothing. So literally the first scene of the show is identical to the last scene.
oh my fucking god, I just remember the fuck.
Yeah.
When the credits go on for like 20 minutes.
The opening
like the entire show, it's credits.
Literally,
sequence.
the opening credits take about 5 minutes to go through, and they're just like shittily overlaid onto the actual show.
We didn't even mention that the show is the most experimental animation I've ever seen.
It was everything was shiny.
Yeah, everything
And
was super shiny.
The
There was-
animation-
angles were always changed. No
It
way.
seemed like this took place in autumn. I don't know.
The animation itself, like, it was weird. The actual characters were like at 15 FPS, and they weren't 3D. But then they had 3D parts dealing with their power, specifically chained to the bad guy that went at like 140 fucking frames per second.
Yeah.
It made no sense.
and like,
But I loved the visual style.
it was pretty.
I
but
loved it. I don't know why I loved it so much.
Gave me a headache after like 5 minutes.
yeah, that's the thing. It gave me like a headache because it was so jarring.
But I was also incredibly tired.
because there were some scenes that were like, you know what we could do to make this even better? Upside down. and it's just like, what are you doing?
Can we mention the one girl that came up to the main character?
Oh my god! Yeah. So this show again, don't watch it. It definitely overly sexualizes like women, and it's like, oh, we're in middle school, walking, just like comically huge tits.
It doesn't make any
It
sense.
makes no sense. Because here's the thing,
And they have minds of their fucking own. They're defying gravity.
yeah, no, literally,
Like,
they're
boobs
like
don't move that way.
defying the laws of physics, and it's so weird because it was really just that one character, and then the one stand that the bad guy had. Because everybody else in the show was drawn like normally. It was just like the creator was like, "Well, we have to let them know this is the main character. How do we do that? Oh, maybe give him a crazy color hair. What if we made her tits bigger than her?"
And it's just like this is a middle school girl.
Yeah, it's like a 12-year-old. It's just like, what the fuck? It's like, it is jarring. And like, the thing is, the scene with her in it is just exposition. She's just talking to the main character.
Oh my god,
it goes 8 minutes.
That's why I hate about the show. It feels like it takes fucking forever to do anything. Like, just that took so fucking long. And then when he was fucking talking to the bad guy, that took like that was like the rest half of the show, just talking.
Yeah, and the thing is, we already saw part of the fight at the beginning of the show, and they literally just shoved it in there again at the
It
end.
was
Like,
the same animation.
the same animation,
Same shit.
same dialogue, same everything. There was some extra stuff at the beginning and end, but the middle stuff was the exact same.
And it makes me so sleepy. It's giving me a headache thinking about it because there's
I have a headache right now talking about it.
Character designs were god fucking
Were
awful.
a
They
tr-
got
atrocious.
shiny ass hair.
Yeah, everything in this show was chrome.
Yeah.
Future.
That's something that to me was like the most repellent part. Was like if it didn't have like 17 like layers of like hyper saturated gradient colors and just random piss poor CG bullshit, it would be like a very basic anime. But it's like weird fisheye lens bulges. It's just weird.
Oh god,
they're
that
changing.
fisheye scene it hurt.
Like it's obviously made in the early 2000s, like the mid or late 2000s, but it's like they had, I don't know, like the very first versions of like Photoshop, and they're just like slapping that on top of like a average anime, just fucking it up.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
it came out in 2012 or 2013.
I loved it. I loved the animation style.
You
I don't
like
know
the
what.
camera changing at every scene.
Something
no matter
about
what?
it, if it was done properly, could make a good anime.
if you find a diamond in the rough, you find a diamond in the shit.
There
It
was
was a
not,
2017 show.
There you go.
What?
Jesus Christ.
It literally looked it dropped out of 2006, and they were like, "We just got Adobe Premiere. Let's use it."
It was winter 2017.
Wow.
That's wild.
we could
We were
have
doing
reviewed
the
it.
damn podcast.
I was about to say that was a year off of us. We could have potentially really reviewed that show.
So now we can build up to bad guy stepping on his handshaker's coochie.
There we go.
because like, the bad
Can
guy,
we not use that language around here?
What else would you call it?
What is the other words?
Because like, the bad guy, like he has like the girl that he draws his power from, that he can choose change from, but he's so like abusing her, like some kind of weird BDSM. So he's like wrapping her up in chains and like tying her, and she's like moaning and squealing, like her titties are popping out.
Yeah.
And then,
But like she's like also like hella into it too. It's really fucked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, there's even one part in the show where he's like, handshaker, I need your maximum moan, so all these chains will start flying. And she goes, okay. And then it's really like, it's like for 15 seconds, and we're just like, Christ.
Stop, please. Just
I'm very
end.
glad I
And
fell
then, like,
asleep.
as she comes, it's just like fucking chains out the wazoo.
Yeah, and like the chains were like, again, like Cody said, we're like at 2,000 FPS compared to the rest of the show that just looked like it was in slow motion. Because it was jarring, and they looked shitty CGI, and also were kind of orange. The chains were kind of orange and shiny, so it was literally like just huge orange streaks going across the television, so fast you couldn't even see them. And the main character is just like, oh no, like what do I do? And like a comical amount of chains. It wasn't just like one chain; it was like dozens of chains.
30 chains on every frame of
on the
show.
screen at a time. It was
And then
so
it
bad.
takes forever for the main character to do something,
Yeah.
which is to build a huge ass sword and finally attack the bad guy, and then that's where it leaves off.
Yeah,
And the thing is, his handshaker, his partner, didn't say a single thing.
No,
Yeah.
no words.
No agency whatsoever.
yeah, and also like it's not even explained. Like he goes into the doctor's office, like, oh, you must be Professor. I can't remember the guy's name.
It doesn't matter.
But anyways, the guy never answers. Just starts crying and says, "You have to hold her hand or she'll die." And now you're being transported, and that's it. And like,
And it's somehow a girl he knew when he was years ago, because it's somehow the same girl, same hot, but her hair is white now.
no,
It was his
it's
sister.
Yeah. It's like it's allegedly maybe his sister because like
She looks similar.
she looks similar, but he also calls her by his sister's name, which
is
is
fucking weird.
It's like, oh, every dying girl in a hospital bed reminds me of my sister, so you must be her.
I'm never gonna let you go.
Yeah, and like literally just grabs her hand and was like, I guess we're like this forever now.
Yep.
The common theme of all these shows is fucking incest.
Yeah, it's weird.
Or like,
What the fuck, Japan?
just like how just the women were just like props. Like
Oh my god,
it's-
yeah.
it's like
I mean, literally.
it's like
Yeah.
like we're using
No agency whatsoever.
It's like, we're stepping on this one girl, and then we have this super like passive girl that can't do anything. So it's like this. These are two types that like really fucked up things we can play with. Like it's so.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean-
it's the definition of the Madonna whore complex.
I mean, I even brought that up. Like, I wonder if all the handshakers are female. Like, if that's probably a thing.
Just even the first of, I would bet $100. That's how.
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah.
I would bet money that all the handshakers are females. So
Like I was saying, I feel like this is like some propaganda to promote like traditional relationships.
it is.
Call it traditional. Call it something else.
It's so, oh my god, it's so bad. But again, going back to the credits, the ending credits start with about 7 minutes left in the episode,
And they already showed the credits
already
at the beginning of the show.
and they already showed them. It's the same exact credits, and like they're so big and white, and there's still stuff going on like in the background too, like. So sometimes anime will kind of like fade into like the outro song into the credits, like on an ending scene. But this was like supposed to be like this big battle, and it starts like the credits during like a random scene of dialogue, and they just play and
Yeah.
play and play, and literally right at the climax where like, oh, the sword and the chain is about to collide, cuts to
Yep.
black, it fades to black, and it's just like, okay.
Blue Balls the anime.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, speaking of blue balls, that kind of happened in the next series.
yeah. So, big order.
I don't remember this one.
Let me try to explain it. In about
What is this?
this is called.
You were sleeping.
Yeah, you were sleeping. This is big order. Where, so there's just like fairy sort of thing that visits people, makes them orders, which and to be what?
I'll be right back. Y'all keep with the.
Why did you get up? Just get up.
Yeah, y'all keep going.
Leave. Anyways, fairy does whatever, gives people wishes, and the orders there's like 2,000 orders we find out in the show, and the orders are people who had their wishes granted by this fairy.
I remember
Yeah,
this one.
our main protagonist is someone who allegedly wished for the destruction of the world. So like, and we see like in the first scene, like Japan takes this heavy hit, and like even, and then it cuts forward, and like Japan's like rebuilding in this rebuilding process, and nobody knows he's that order. The government are hunting the orders because the government knows that an order caused the Great Destruction, which
That's what they call
which
it.
is what they call it. But nobody knows which order did it, so they just want to kill every order. So, and that's where our show.
Yeah, the one of the assassins or one of the orders, because one of the characters that's hunting our main character is an order, and her order or her wish was to self regenerate.
Yeah.
self
She's
regeneration.
basically immortal.
Yeah, pretty much. And he gets attacked by her, and the entire time also like they always like keep saying he keeps repeating my wish is like through the entire show. They keep blueballing us like, what's his fucking wish?
Yeah, what was the wish? Like,
And the incest vibe I was talking about was like because his sister is also in the hospital.
Yeah.
And he keeps meeting her and he loves her very, deeply or whatever. But like, I don't know, just that their relationship, especially the little sister, like how close they are and like.
I will say for one plus of the show, I didn't get that vibe. I got more of a vibe of like our parents are gone, so now like you're my kid essentially. 'cause
Yeah,
there
I
is
got
such
that more than any incest.
Yeah, I didn't
get any
get.
incest.
Yeah, I didn't get any weird like overly sexual. Thank Christ.
Wenzel
But-
was wanting incest.
But I never got that from that. But man, everything
I mean,
else.
I was
about
just
the
used to it at that point. I was
show-
like,
Yeah, by that point.
You were literally primed.
I mean,
yeah,
I
you're
don't
like,
know.
oh, sister, has to be.
Pavlov's incest.
probably interpreted it wrong. I don't know. I felt weirded out
And
by
plus,
it.
it's just a trope in anime that like there's a character who's like, "Oh, my sister is ill or dying," and like this is my motivation. You see it all the time. So, or even an anime character, if you don't have a terminally ill sister.
Yeah,
You can be an anime character unless your sister's terminally ill. That's
Yeah.
the rule.
sure.
So the show. So again, like Wenzel was saying, we never know exactly what his wish is 'cause-
Until the end.
Until the end, but like the first opening of the show is literally like them just going back and forth. I wish. What's your wish? I wish. What's your wish? My wish is. What's your wish? My wish is, and like
Flashing images.
flashing images and flashing the dialogue like overlaid on top of each other for like 3 minutes, and
Yeah.
it's like, wow, this is stupid. And then like the girl that is the assassin like disguises herself as like a student at his high school, and all of a sudden she's like, oh, I need help getting into my apartment, I can't get in. And he's like, oh yes, a hot girl's talking to me, and she tases him in the spine,
Yeah.
knocks him out, and then she like holds a sword to him, and somehow the sword stabs her.
It's because
Oh,
everything
because-
bends to his will.
Oh, we're getting to that,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, he's like somehow
Because the girl stabs him in the hand with her sword, and then he activates this sigil on his hand, which
Yeah.
teleports the sword into her.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm dead for a second.
Yeah,
Peace.
and then we find out because she comes like to the hospital his sister's at, is like, I got your sister. Boom,
Stabs her
in the shoulder. A comical amount of blood.
Yeah, 'cause
and
Cole-
that sword went deep inside of her. Apparently,
Yeah. It
That
was
would've
so much
killed
fucking
her.
blood.
like she's like, don't worry, I'm not going to kill her. And like the shot was the sword barely going inside of her, but then she pulls the sword out of her shoulder, and like the entire blade is covered in blood.
and it was also on her left side, so like that's close to the heart.
yeah, like it
you
would.
had to cut through the whole heart.
You would have had to kill somebody. So, anyways, it's like, what happened? And then we find out she's an order.
Yeah. Oh, and we should also say too, the orders with their wishes and abilities, they also have stands as well.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
But
Very
the girl
bad.
stand is like this
CG
it's-
skeleton mummy.
It's basically like a Terminator, but with bandages on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's also when they finally fucking tell us his wish, and his wish was world domination.
Yeah.
And like Colt said, it's pretty much he can make anything in the area bend to his will, which actually the fucking fairy has to come to him and has to reduce the size or the range of his ability so he doesn't fucking overuse it like he did in the Great Destruction.
Yeah, because she reduces it to 1/10,000th of its power, and still he controls everything in like this skyscraper building. So I guess his full power can literally could literally control all of Japan, or something, or even bigger.
It was like on the floor below him and the floors above him, because it was like literally like a square shaped room that he could
but
control.
could go up and down too because it was taken over. Yeah.
Yeah, and he could control or make anybody do what he wanted, because she with her the orders regenerative ability, she can also heal other people as well. And she like, why did I heal his little sister? And that's because he made her do it. And his stand or whatever is like the same thing, but like with nails in it or something.
Yeah.
Kind of like a little BDSM was like tendrils with nails at the end of them, and they was like wrapping up the soldiers that were following her.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was weird because like it's kind of like the same ending to like Code Geass, the first episode where they're like, "Hey, I control you now," and then it gets weird because like it fades to black, but you can still hear the girl, and she's like, "Oh, like
Don't look.
Yeah, it's very fucking weird.
Because
But
he pretty much, from what we can assume, lobotomizes her.
yeah, with the weird stands tentacle thing.
Yeah.
But
As somebody who's seen not all of it, I've seen 6 episodes of this because I was bored and had nothing better to watch when it was first releasing. She's not dead. She just works for
well,
him.
yeah, I figured he would just control her.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. Yeah.
But and like the premise for this show is not bad.
No,
like,
it's not.
it's actually a semi interesting premise.
Yeah, I like
And
that.
it's pretty. It's not ugly.
I liked the idea of like, they have abilities.
Yeah, like the whole like this one fairy pretty much made like a subculture of pretty much anybody could wish for one specific superpower. It is kind of cool in itself, but like the story is it's a mess to say the least. The animation is not the best. The CGI stands are like some of the worst CG stuff I've ever seen.
It's fucking ugly.
It's so ugly. And then there's also just the weird vibe of like, well, I'm a dude and I'm about to dominate. And like the first enemy he fights is a girl, and it's like, and now you're mine. And it's like very weird. But like I would say it's definitely not the worst anime I've ever seen. But like I can definitely see it being on the list. I've probably
out of all the ones we've named so far or watched,
it's
not the best. It's the best of the ones we've watched.
yeah, that's probably fair to
Wait
say.
till the last one.
But going into our last show,
I beg to differ, Colt, because this one's a fucking trip.
we watched the English dub of Garzey's Wing.
I was talking about best of the ones we've already listed.
Garzey's-
Wing is my
yeah.
favorite of all of them.
Garzey's Wing was Jonathan, because you're the one that put this on the list. Do you want to give us a little bit of, because I couldn't even begin to explain.
I don't know.
Okay. I forgot how I found this show out. I think there was like a anime YouTuber I watched. She was like, this show is wild. Everyone needs to watch it. But only in English. You can't watch it in Japanese. I'm like, okay.
This is on YouTube, by the way, if anybody wants to watch.
Yeah, it's a 3-episode OVA created by Tomino, the guy who created Gundam.
Gundam, yeah.
And I'll say nothing closely relating to Gundam.
This guy must be the
Story-wise
George
or whatever.
Lucas of anime because, oh my god, was this just completely incoherent. There's like it's... I feel like it's like the Spark Notes of a show, but it's just running so fast. Okay, so it follows this this kid. I can't remember his name.
Chris.
His name's Chris.
Yeah. Anyway, it starts out in this. I guess it's his girlfriend that is just like bitching at him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to class reunion. I'll be back, Rumiko." And
It sounds exactly the way he
Yeah,
sang
no,
it,
that
too.
was pretty spot on.
and then he takes off on a motorcycle, and then there's a random shot of a dying cicada for some reason. And then it's all of a sudden night, and he's driving past this shrine. He's like, this must be the Shiratori shrine. This must be where Yamaka Mika no Mikoto came from the sky.
Yeah, like, and we're like, what? Does that even... This is the first, like, 3 minutes of the show.
Yeah, this is the first 3 minutes of the show. And by the way, nothing gets explained.
Because
No.
they name drop so many stuff, and it's never elaborated on at any point.
It like acts like you know what it's talking about, but I'm like, I have no idea. Then a literal Technicolor duck comes out of the sky, rips his soul out of his body, and Chris is like, "Are you a damn ghost? Do I look like a ghost? Show me the ancient Japanese man's spirit." And it's like, what the fuck am I watching?
And that's not even a top 10 craziest moment of the show.
No, it is
Like,
not.
and the English dub so pushes it over the top too, just because it's so like so everybody that was a voice actor on the show screamed.
There was no calm voices,
Yeah, nope.
all yelling.
All yelling.
No, it was.
Are you Yamaka Mikoto Mikoto?
We should mention too that the character, when he gets transported, he was naked.
Butt ass naked.
Yeah, it gets transported and also gets transported to like ancient times.
Yeah, like
I thought
yeah,
it was the
yeah.
Bible for a second.
yeah, it seemed like very like
The Bible, not. Oh, I'm back, by the way. Hi.
No,
And
it's
then
just the Bible.
and like one point he says these are people from 12th and 13th century. I'm like,
Yeah, it's like,
how
does
can you
that
be
work?
from both?
yeah, it made no sense. And then there's a point in the show where past Chris and present, like Chris's soul and Chris's physical body can interact. Chris's physical body is in present day, but somehow his soul is in 12th or 13th century
No,
wherever.
12th and 13th
both
century.
of them.
12th and 13th century wherever. And it doesn't make any sense because they start communicating.
I think we can communicate through these bells. You must find a way to get back through the bells.
Wenzel, say your quote from the show while the two Chris's are communicating.
so. If you die there, I'll die here. Probably.
Probably.
I'm covered in bruises.
Yeah.
I'm covered in bruises from fighting butt naked. Exactly. That's literally what they say.
Literally,
And then there are dinosaurs here, and they have bows and arrows.
yeah. And then the one guy's like, "Why don't you just make gunpowder?" And he's like, "I don't have the materials." He's like, "Do you have sulfur?" "No." "Oh."
And then at some point he's like, use this fighting technique.
My sword is dull.
And then for some reason he attacks the air. Like, this is present Chris, not past
Oh
Chris.
yeah, present Chris is like, "Use this fighting technique." "Huh," and like slides across his floor, real Chris, and then past Chris is just like,
I don't.
Soul Chris just ignores it.
Yeah,
essentially.
pretty much.
Like it just cuts back to Soul Chris, and it's just like he
But-
was no help.
What was confusing me? 'Cause I was thinking like somehow like when he rises in like the past era, everybody sort of recognized him as like this great mythical hero. But I was thinking like did somehow Chris like and the hero swap places? Like Chris is in the hero's body and the hero's in Chris's body, and that's how it would have talked. Because it doesn't really make sense. Like if it's just his soul, wouldn't his body be comatose? I feel like was there something else that he took the place of?
Yeah, no, because
That would make sense.
the name of the show is Garzey's Wing, and whenever he gets to this place, he has this thing called Garzey's Wings, and it's pretty much like Hermes' feet, where like there's wings.
There's wings coming from like his
ankles. Yeah, and
They say Garzey's wing.
They
a
say it a
thousand
lot.
times.
we took shots
No, we didn't.
of
Bubbly.
bubbly.
But like the thing that makes this show just so like incomprehensible is it flies at you at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, and it's 30 minutes. Like the first episode's 30 minutes, and it flies by. Like it, and they throw so. It was like watching a whole season of a show in 30 minutes.
I wanted more.
I did too.
Like because the dub. It reminded me of Ghost Adventures, where the dub is just so overly bad. It was just like, all right, get in there and kind of make sense. And
Ghost
it was like,
Stories.
It was like, okay. Oh, Ghost Stories. I'm sorry.
At a certain point, it's just because everybody's screaming, everybody's just talking, and just in a way that doesn't match the scene. It makes you feel like it's just like a parody dub, like it's a
Yeah.
Team
It's Team
Star
Star,
bridge.
a bridge.
Yeah, it feels that way too.
But no, it's 100. It's trying to be 100% legit.
Yeah, and it's oh my god, it's I'd highly recommend watching this.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing grotesque about it or anything. It's just funny. Like
And if you want to just get a taste, there is this like 3-minute clip show of it, of just like the funniest parts. That will just give you a taste of if this is for you.
oh, and we didn't even mention there's like a little fairy person that gets introduced to Soul Chris, and everybody hates this fairy
They treat
immediately.
it like shit.
Like literally, like the fairy tries to help one of the women in the show, and like one of the women warriors, and she just turns around and is like, "What are you doing here?" And it's just like, literally, this fairy hasn't appeared ever. And
Yeah.
like now she's here, and like everybody's immediately pissed off.
Yeah, even Soul Chris is like, man, you're annoying.
Yeah, even Soul Chris is like, damn, I wish this fairy would stop talking to me all the time.
But she's just trying to be helpful with it. Immediately, everybody's shitting on her. But the weirdest thing about the fairy, she's like this cute little girl with wings, but then like they're trying to figure out how to stop the invading army that's trying to kill them. It's like, oh, if we put our gunpowder or weird powder that explodes on this arrow, we can maybe fight. And it's like, oh, I can't use my spit; it falls off. Well, I can help. She pulls back her hair. There's some kind of weird thing in her back.
Wing smegma.
Where like her where her wings attached to her back, just some weird undulating organ, and just goo is dripping from it. It's like, oh, it just smeared on my
Sticky,
arrow.
yeah.
Yep.
Out of nowhere.
It was disgusting.
And just the thing, it's just another thing too. Like Soul Chris, when he gets there, like Pat said, they were name dropping so much shit. But it's like Soul Chris is like, I'm not a hero, but I'm gonna help out.
Yeah, Soul Chris is like, I'm not a hero, but I guess I'm here now.
Yeah.
So
like,
hand me a fucking sword.
I mean, I guess like if we were some reason in that situation, we couldn't ask too many questions, but like
I would
ask 1,000 questions.
Oh man,
And it'd be like, okay, slow down. What?
and it was so weird because they would like just name off these mountains as if you were supposed to know them, but they were made up mountains.
Mountains, tribes, people,
Yeah.
kingdoms,
Everything.
empires. Like, what the fuck is going on?
And supposedly it's like loosely tangential to a pre-established universe that Tomino created. But like even people who are familiar with it, it was like, I have no fucking idea what
Yeah, and like
all
there's
this is.
and it's not like a short name. It's like 5-6 syllable names for these mountain ranges. It's just like, who the hell will remember that? And like it's English dub too, so it's just like this dude in the booth yelling, "Yes, we must go to like the Momofuku Shoto mountain
Agisi.
range." Yeah, and it's just like literally crazy ass names like that where they don't even make sense. It's like they took two Japanese words, put them together, and it's like, that's the name. And great show.
I love it. I want to watch more.
And no, it's like one of the funniest things I ever watched. Like it's like highly recommend everybody. It's on YouTube. Just search Garzey's Wing and like get to watch
It's
it.
it's just one of those shows that's so bad you have to see it.
Oh, I thought Patrick was going to say something. He just started laughing, but no, that's the vibe of the show. Like you
Yeah.
want to say something, and you're just like, I have no words.
The only thing I could think to say about it is with the voice actors, it kind of just felt it just took random jackasses off the street and just threw them in a closet. Hey, just start. And they're just screaming for their lives. Like, please help us. We'll say the line.
okay.
Just let us go.
Yeah,
Okay, Pat, I am one of those jackasses.
and like literally every line of dialogue in the show is yelling. And there's also one part. So Colt, pretend you're the grandma. Start talking to me.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, that's it. Like literally, she's talking.
Oh shit! Yeah, he's outside and she says something. And he's like, "Yeah," and
Yeah,
then
like
leaves.
screams, yeah, in the middle of her talking, and it makes no sense. It was like somebody
Let's
edited
do
it
a better
wrong.
one. Hey, how are you doing today?
Yeah.
son? Okay.
Yeah, like that was how it went. I don't know. I highly recommend everybody watch Garzey's Wing. It was really freaking good.
So we don't recommend watching Pupa. We recommend watching
Yeah.
this.
No incest here.
Yeah, like Garzey's Wing's just funny.
that we know of.
Yeah, I mean, there's still two 30-minute episodes left.
Unless it took a huge right turn somewhere, but listen.
Official AYCH anime.
I don't know if I'd go there.
So I mean, definitely out of this batch, I would say Garzey's Wing was my favorite.
Yeah,
Garzey's Wing was.
Yeah.
Garzey's Wing.
What would you say? The whole episode is like we're trying to figure out if these animes' reputations were warranted. Which one do you say this was the worst anime?
Pupa.
Pupa.
Yeah,
Pupa.
Shitta.
yeah, Pupa for sure. Pupa.
It was just bad.
And then Mars of Destruction it's also deserved it. I'd say everything really deserved it.
There was a
except
scene
for-
in Mars of Destruction where they just forgot to color it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that scene. It's just literally like black and white. Yeah, I would say, and Garzey's Wing's bad, but it's like funny bad. Like
It aged. It was funky, fucking funky cheese.
like is it like do I think Garzey's Wing belongs on a list of worst anime ever? Probably not, just because
It's fucking entertaining.
it's
as shit.
entertaining at least. Like even though it's like there's nothing overly, but like the animation in it's fine. Like the
Yeah, I mean the character designs and monster designs are ugly as fuck.
yeah, but like it doesn't do anything like offensively bad.
It's feel like it's more dated than like actually bad.
Yeah.
yeah.
But then there's some aspects of it that were
Like
probably bad for
the
the
Soul
time period.
Chris's like costume is literally just like a potato sack.
Yeah, that's true. A potato sack and wings on his ankle. But yeah, so that's so I would definitely say 4 of those shows Dog awful. Don't watch. Garzey's a Wing. Go check it out.
Watch.
Watch it. So thank you everybody for listening to the worst anime ever ? Episode of All You Can Hear. As always, if you like this episode, leave us a review, a like, a subscription, a rating, a follow on SoundCloud, on Google Play, on Spotify, on iTunes, on all that great stuff. Spotify, just search All You Can Hear podcast, but you know that because you're listening to this right now and you made it to the end. Congratulations. You can follow us on Twitter at AYCH Podcast. You can follow us on twitch.tv/AllYouCanHear, where on Saturday, May the 25th, I will be doing a 6-hour live stream of Sekiro with Blind, one of our incentives of hitting 200 followers before our 2-year anniversary. So definitely be there on May 25th, but follow us on twitch.tv/AllYouCanHear for all of our other streams. And you can follow us on Instagram, AYCH Podcast, where there's just great art every week. It's phenomenal. Love it. And you can follow me on Twitter at Tanner1495.
I'm Colt. You can follow me on Twitter at ColtD00. Just probably.
My name's Jonathan, and show me the ancient Japanese man's spirit.
Probably.
My name is Cody, and you can follow me at CODDOC11. That's CODDOC11 on Instagram and just Instagram.
This is Wenzel. Thank you for listening. You can follow me on Twitter at WinzyWilkie. You can follow my art Instagram at World of Winsy.
This is Patrick. Thank you for listening. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at John Lost His Name. You can follow my art on Facebook at John Lost His Name Art.
Probably.
Probably.